In all of science fiction, there stands but one galactic federation that stands out above the rest. No, not that one. Okay, no, there stands but one federation that stands out amongst video games science fiction then. Metroid's Galactic Federation is the interplanetary government system that provides a certain regulation to the galaxy in which it oversees. Now, with this being said, is it truly the benign system it seems to be? Or is it something much more sinister? With this episode, we'll be looking into how the Federation is run, as well as theorizing about how it might be operating with hidden intention. So with that being said, let's get right into it. In the Metroid universe, the main government system you hear about is the Galactic Federation. Spanning the entire timeline, the Federation has been an integral part of Samus's character. It's also been an excellent commentary on a seedy Big Brother type of organization, played out subtly through the games. We see the once acclaimed Galactic Federation develop into a rather sketchy, faceless ruler. But what is the role of a Federation in government, and what exactly could we expect to see from the Federation in the future? Well, in short, a federation is a group of sovereign nations or states banded together underneath a system to better regulate the workings between them. Often a council or group of representatives is used to express the interest or displeasure in legislation that could affect everyone involved. For an example of this, we look no further than the United States governing system. Along with the indirect democracy, the US is built on a federal republic. The states receive power to govern at a state level, and we also select representatives to vote on certain issues for us during congressional hearings. Whether or not this is effective, well, that's debatable. While the federal government, much like the Federation, does not have direct power over the individual governments of states, nations, or planets in this case, what it does have the ability to do is set general rules and regulations for the states to follow in order to peacefully remain in the Federation. If a state or nation chooses to do something that conflicts with the rules set by the Federation, military action can occur. We saw this during the US Civil War in the 1800s, where one group of states decided not to follow the regulations set by the federal government and split the Union. Since the Confederate forces initiated hostilities, the Union then decided to take military action and retaliate and force reunification of the Federation. This is one example of a federation taking militaristic action to create a unified country that adheres to basic guidelines set by a single governing entity. While this particular instance can certainly be seen as a good thing, this isn't always true. Some federations in the past have taken separate entities by force in order to gain strategic positions and enforce more aggressive states, which causes the federations to develop into an imperialistic empire, which will restrict autonomy from the individual states or territories. What we've seen from the Galactic Federation so far doesn't go as deep as becoming an imperialist empire just yet, though they have participated in some very sketchy practices. The earliest we learn of the Federation's existence is 2000 or 2003 in Zero Mission of the Cosmic Calendar, in which representatives of planets in the solar systems established a Congress called the Galactic Federation. Due to trade deals and universal systems agreed upon, the Federation ushered in an era of peace and prosperity like no one had seen. Then everything changed when that era ended when the space pirates appeared and began raiding ships. The Federation then decided to enact an interplanetary force known as the Galactic Federation Police. While they did prove to combat the threat relatively well, the space pirates ultimately proved too much for them. It was at this point the Federation decided to hire bounty hunters to take down the space pirate forces. While much is left unexplained about the actual inner workings of the Galactic Federation, we do have enough evidence to piece together a general idea of how it works on a large scale. Using Metroid's story, we can look at how the Federation has worked with the surrounding planets and how they might not be as much of a Federation as we thought. To start out, we have the Federation that Samus joined, which up until that point, and a little while after, was known as a system of good intentions. Equalizing a galactic system and creating a group of planets to benefit from interplanetary trading is no small feat. But over the years, the games in the series have had an increasingly sour view of the Galactic Federation. Metroid Prime and the 2002 manga started to shed the light on the darker aspects of the Federation. To address the manga, according to the prisoner known as P1, the Federation is known to show prejudice against races it would consider to be inferior. It's similar to a conquered country not allowing common rights to citizens it views as subhuman, which still happens today. Furthermore, Metroid Prime starts revealing the Federation has attempted to copy certain aspects of Samus's suit to create weapons similar to the Chozo. They also created a weapon system, the Shock Coil, which was illegal. Silex, Samus's sworn enemy, stole these items to presumably keep them out of the grasp of the Federation. During Metroid Prime 3, we learned there have been rebellions against the Federation and that the Federation responded with military action. This means that, though presented as an altruistic system, there are some hints to it being a Federation based on military conquering. There is another term for this totalitarianistic system, an imperialist empire. Yes, much like the Empire in Star Wars, we could be seeing a system that exploits the planets it conquers. The difference is that Star Wars' empire is much more upfront about it, while the Galactic Federation is using underhanded and hidden tactics to gain military advantage. This becomes even more prominent in Other M. Okay, I know, but it's still canon, and it has evidence to support our case. In Other M, we see there is a conspiracy to use Metroids, Zeba's life forms, cybernetically enhanced Zebesians, and a humanoid clone of Mother Brain to control them all. That turned out to be a mistake and backfired. Then we find out in Metroid Fusion that they had indeed been cloning Metroids for some, most likely military, use. They'd also been studying the X-Parasite to use as a bioweapon, which is one type of weapon forbidden by our real-world Geneva Convention. This all adds up to the Federation aligning much more with the concept of an imperialist empire as they forcefully take the territories. While it may not be there yet, it's definitely on the track. So what does this mean for the Metroid universe? Well, Samus has disobeyed orders from the Federation before, and perhaps this is her true enemy. With Adam no longer a part of the Federation due to his sacrifice on Other M, maybe it will cause Samus to disconnect entirely since she's learned the truth. If Nintendo ever makes another game, maybe we'll find out. Get on it, Nintendo. Please. The Federation is currently on track to wreak havoc on the galaxy through conquering and military action. If it isn't stopped, we will see a similar situation to that of Star Wars. Help us, Samus Aran. You're our only hope. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and share. If you didn't, comment on this video and tell me all the lore and facts I got wrong. Your rage feeds me. Please subscribe if you want more content like this. Also, do the numerous other things that YouTube tells me to tell you to do. With all that being said, this has been Dr. 3AM. See you next time.